states that are impacted.
Congressman Rob Woodall has prevailed in a recount that just concluded in Georgia's 7th congressional district, which covers parts of Gwinnett and Forsyth counties. It appears to be the final bit of drama from the Georgia election held more than 2 weeks ago. 11 Alive's Doug Richards is live with more on the recount and its issues. Doug, this was so very, very close.
Yeah, and it is the final drama, unless, of course, you count this this whole runoff business next month. But let's exclude that for now. Rob Woodall and Carolyn Bourdeaux's election was very, very close, and the recount happened because the Democrat Bourdeaux came within 1 percentage point of the Republican Woodall. But in the end today, it wasn't close enough. That clatter is optical scanners, machines that can read bubbles penciled onto paper absentee ballots. It's at least the third time they've done this in Gwinnett in the last 16 days, with variables that only add a smidge of drama to this recount.
They're just running it right through the machine, and if anything pops back out, then they'll take a look at it. So we think that diminishes the chances of seeing something new. If you do the same process, you're probably going to get the same results.
Spencer Smith managed the campaign of Democrat Carolyn Bourdeaux, who came within 419 votes of winning a congressional seat and requested the recount in her race against Republican Congressman Rob Woodall. Smith was among those watching the recount as Woodall prevailed again. Most of it wasn't really a recount as much as it was just feeding data gathered election night from the state's 16-year-old computer voting system and refeeding it back into the same system. There is no paper trail, no way to eyeball the actual ballots cast.
You're taking the magnetic cards that votes recorded on and uploading that result, and there should never be any difference in those tallies there.
They're effectively doing the same process that they did on election night.
And the state expects to replace the Windows 2000 era computer system in time for the 2020 election. But until that time, any recount in Georgia will be of limited value, and the results will likely be as predictable as those today in the Georgia 7th congressional district.